Okay, the first thing I did is I dropped some spinach or some lasagna noodles, about 12 lasagna noodles, into some water. And you want to cook them, but you don't want to overcook them, so you want them al dente. I seasoned the water with a little bit of salt, and I want them to be cool just a little bit. So I'm going to move on to the next step. Run a little bit of cool water over the top, which will stop the cooking. And lasagna noodles, I will get back to you in just a few minutes. Okay, so now we're going to make the sauce for the spinach lasagna roll-ups. And don't be afraid of the word spinach in here. The spinach is very much of a background to this dish. And if your family absolutely does not do spinach or the kids don't do spinach, you can leave it out of this recipe. It will still be fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Ann. Ann wants a little olive oil in that pan. Okay. It is very lean ground beef, so we'll do a little olive oil, but you wouldn't have to. And we've got a pound of ground beef and some onion, just some finely diced onion, really finely diced so that you don't have big chunks of it. And I'm just going to get that beef nice and crumbly and cooked. And we're going to basically take a jar of marinara sauce and make a jazzed up version of a really nice red sauce that's going to go with our spinach lasagna roll-ups. A couple onions overboard there. Do a little more olive oil. That was very lean ground beef, so we'll just get that going. Now, one of my favorite parts about lasagna has to be that yummy, creamy, cheesy filling. So normally it starts with ricotta cheese. You could do whole milk or skim. And then I like to add some egg to my filling. So in this case, we're going to do 2 beaten eggs. What that does is it makes the filling kind of puff up, be nice and creamy. So even if you're making ordinary lasagna, try adding an egg or two to, whether you use cottage cheese or ricotta, to the filling. It really will make a difference. I'm just scrambling up my eggs. How's our beef doing? Just want to cook it until it's crumbly and no longer pink, and those onions are starting to get a little soft. Perfect. Looking good. So at this point, we're going to season the beef with some garlic salt, or salt and pepper, and you can do fresh garlic. 1 can, or I should say jar, of marinara sauce, and there's always that little bit in there, so why not throw a little water in there just to get every little last bit of that sauce out of there, a little bit more. And that way your spaghetti sauce jar is ready for the recycling bin, all cleaned out, and you got every little bit of sauce out of there. And then 1 can of crushed tomatoes. And this is one of the big guys, 28-ounce cans. Get all that out of there. And then this is another way that I jazz up spaghetti sauce that I didn't have time, to make from scratch. I used a jar, is a little bit of dry white wine. And I'm just going to let that simmer a little bit. You could certainly leave that out if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to use that. You could just use a little water. So I'm just going to let that simmer a little bit. And this is going to make a nice meat sauce. If you wanted to keep this vegetarian, this dish, you could leave out the beef and just do a nice marinara sauce. That would work just fine. Okay, so we'll just let that hang out a little bit and simmer. Sauce, we'll get back to you, and we want to go continue to work on our filling. So we've got ricotta cheese, 2 cups, or one of those 16-ounce containers. This happened to be one of the big containers. Get every little bit of that out there. Thank you, Ann. Then we're using, to season it up, 1 packet of dry pesto mix. This has got a lot of great flavor. It's got garlic and basil and all sorts of great flavor. And that ricotta cheese, although I love it, can be a little bit boring. So I always try and season it up, whether it just be with salt and pepper and garlic salt or fresh garlic. But this is a great trick, is using a dry packet of the pesto sauce mix. It really is going to give that ricotta some nice flavor. Then I've got some Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan, 1 cup of shredded mozzarella. We're going to save some to put on the top. A little bit of black pepper. And then 1 box, this is just 1 box of frozen spinach, the 10-ounce boxes. You don't need to cook it, you just need to let it thaw. In a pinch, I never remember bringing it out the night before and letting it thaw in the fridge, so what I do is I just quickly thaw it in the microwave, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds to a minute, but you don't want to overcook it in the microwave. And this is how it's going to be. It's just thawed out, but it's not cooked. And then it's really important to squeeze that spinach dry. There's a lot of water in frozen spinach, so I just normally use my hands. Clean hands. Squeeze it as dry as you can. You don't want any of that liquid, the water, in your yummy ricotta cheese mixture. Good workout. Ann says it's a good workout. Yeah, I guess it is. Never thought of it that way. Okay. Now we're going to start wrapping and rolling. This is really fun. Actually, it's a little bit putsy, but the payoff is big because it looks fantastic. I just want to check mine that I have in the oven. Oh yeah, pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, and how's our sauce doing over here? Give it a stir. This looks fantastic too. Yeah, whatever I make red sauce, it's half the kitchen is wearing it. That's just the way it rolls. Okay, I used to have white cabinets, although they look pretty. They're tough. So in goes our spinach, and again, I will give you a pass on this one. This dish is so yummy. If you don't put the spinach in here and you just do the ricotta and the Parmesan and that pesto sauce mix, it's still going to be really good. I know, I get it. Some eaters are really, really, really picky. These days I can get away with a lot more at home as far as sneaking spinach, and I put beans in lots of recipes and things like that. And because my kids like lasagna, and this is going to be all rolled up in the noodles, they'll be fine with the spinach, but I get it. You would eat it. Oh, Ann is the pickiest eater ever, so she's okay with the spinach. Okay, so really mix that well, and it's a real thick mixture. And we're going to start putting this whole baby together. All right, 9 by 13 casserole dish. Spray the heck out of it. All right. Now I'm going to take these lasagna noodles, which have cooled a little bit, and I'm going to lay them on a cutting board. By the way, real excited about book club and our big night out. We've got a lot of really fun things going on in May, including a whole bunch of brand new shows. We're going to do a barbecue week. We've just got some really fun things planned for you. So first of all, if you haven't heard about our book club book that we're reading, and our book club is back, it's back, and it is going to be so much fun. So join us at the Bottle Room in Swamico on May 14th, 5:30, but you need to call and reserve your spot so they know how much food to prepare. They're going to be making complimentary appetizers and munchies, and then we'll just be able to purchase some drinks. But go get the book. It's called Girl in Translation. It is going to be just a really fun discussion, I think. The book is a very inspirational book. It's a quick read, so don't be intimidated and say, oh my gosh, I don't have time to read this book. You do. I promise you. You can read this in a day or two. I read it on vacation, and I had it done, I think, in a day and a half. It's kind of it's a real page turner, so I think you're going to enjoy it. So please call today to reserve your spot. And speaking of reserving your spot, Big night out is also back. We're headed to an amazing restaurant in the Valley that just opened up and it's getting rave reviews. 5-course meal paired with your choice of, it can either be paired with wines, a few different wines to complement the dishes, or beer. And the meal is going to be fantastic. Starts with a wonderful soup, then an amazing salad. It's surf and turf, so a fish course, and then, which is halibut, and a wonderful Delmonico steak, and then a fantastic dessert, $50 a person. So this is a big time bargain. Reserve your spot today. This one's filling up quick. We can't wait. It's May 20th at Gather Americana in Appleton, so please join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, back to the roll-ups. Got my lasagna. I put a little bit of sauce in the bottom of our sprayed casserole dish. I spread the ricotta spinach filling on top of the noodles, and you just roll them right up. It's very easy, but like I say, it looks like this is one of those seriously gourmet things. Yes. Ann likes them turned. Okay, Ann, I'll turn them this way. She says they fit better that way. However you want to put them in the dish, it's all going to taste fantastic. But this dish is going to hold about 12 rolls. Okay. So we just keep rolling here. And this is one of the reasons why, when we were putting the show together, the best of, I knew I had to do a casserole because I'm known for my casseroles. And this is one of the recipes I have in my cookbook that I get rave reviews about because it is so special that it could be served for company. And then, you know, toss a nice big salad together, serve some garlic bread and an easy dessert, and call it a day. So you get the idea. You keep rolling. I'll do one more. Later, we're going to make one of my all-time favorite dip recipes. And we have some other fun ideas, too. And by the way, if you have a favorite best recipe or a favorite place that you really think we need to go, restaurant or a really cool store, please shoot us an email, because we love hearing your ideas. And a lot of times, we'll go there. So at this point, you'll take a little of the sauce, drizzle that over the top of the rolls. I still like to be able to see the rolls. And then you'll top with that remaining shredded mozzarella cheese. So again, doesn't need a whole lot more cheese because I want to be able to see those rolls. This can be made ahead, up to a day ahead, I would say, the day before, then baked off. Remember always, if you are making a casserole ahead and you're pulling it out of the refrigerator and baking it right ice cold out of the fridge, bake time's always going to need a little bit longer for that. I like to cover this dish with foil just so that cheese doesn't get over, you know, get rubbery and tough, and then uncover it the last few minutes if you want to get that cheese a little bit golden. It takes about a half hour or more if you're taking it out of the fridge. You don't want to over bake this though. I really want that cheese to look melty and gorgeous, just like it does right now. How pretty is that? Great big salad, garlic bread, and it's one of my all-time best casseroles, my spinach lasagna roll-ups. Recipes on the website. Coming up, some more of our very best.